Tallulah and this is my vlog. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lulu. It's always good to, if you have a dog and don't acknowledge it, I think that's bad form, to be honest, darling. Whether it's a stuffed red leather one or a real live collie, one should acknowledge one's pet. Right, now, thank you to Mr. Morrison of Scotland who asked about this question because basically he wanted to know, in celebration of Shakespeare 400th anniversary this year, what the three witches, if there could be a sandwich inspired by the three witches of Macbeth. Double, double, toil and trouble, cauldron boil and a bubble and a bubble. I thought I'd just throw that out there. I love Shakespeare, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously I'm classically trained, which is a prerequisite to be any sort of a chef nowadays. One needs to know one's classics. Lady Macbeth, I love Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth has that wonderful speech about, you know, calling in the evil spirits. She was the one that pushed Macbeth to do his bad, dark deeds, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not read Macbeth, can I highly recommend it? Highly. If you can't manage it, get the Cliff Notes. Read it. There's ghosts, there's murder, there's madness, mayhem, and Lady Macbeth is one of the most wonderful parts, and I would love to play it. If anyone is out there wanting a miming cook who's saving the world one sandwich at a time to play Lady Macbeth, please get in touch in the bit below. Anyway, a sandwich inspired by the three witches of Macbeth. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know the play, the three witches are hags in a ferociously wild and windy day, which happens occasionally in Scotland, and that's where the play is set, the Scottish play, as it were. Okay, and the Macbeth comes upon them, all right, and now they are all around a cauldron, so you can imagine them, you know, this is not Baywatch, ladies and gentlemen. This is a dark, harrowing day, and they're throwing in tail of newt and eye of bat. Wool of bat, it even says, I did Google that bit, and it's wool of bat, eye of newt, and eels, and all sorts. I mean, they're witches, darling, so it's not a little bit of salt and pepper, it's newt and tongue of adder and things, because you do get adders in Scotland, that's a fact, I've seen one. Anyway, so they're all going into the cauldron, they're whipping it up, and it's, you know, it's a ferocious scene. Let's just say that. So, now a sandwich inspired by this ferocious three hags. I came up with the classic of the frog leg sandwich, ladies and gentlemen, because let's keep it bitty. And I don't get, you can't be French and justify this, and I eat frog's legs, I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but it is a bit macabre. It is a bit macabre. I don't want to know how you're dissecting the frog's legs from the rest of the frog, but it is a bit witch-like. So if you're able to have a frog leg sandwich and think of the witches of Macbeth, I would say that would be quite an enjoyable afternoon snack. Another thing, if you're not quite able to get the frog's legs, is tongue. I mean, I'm from Scotland and tongue was in the butcher shop. It was, darling. I mean, it's making me a bit wince to think. I don't know whether that was a while ago. I don't know whether they still do tongue, but I'm sure you can get a bit of tongue. I mean, I don't know whether Whole Foods have tongue, but, you know, organic tongue. But whatever, offal is the correct word for all this bit, darling. If you're not classically trained, you may not know that, but I'll put the definition in the bit below. But it basically means the bits from the animal. So get any bits from the, this is witches, so it's a bit just, if you're vegan, I'm gonna have to eat spinach at this bit. Get the offal and put it on the bread. I would then put a lot of ketchup on. I have to say. I mean, maybe not if it's the frog's legs, you might get away with a bit of mint jelly, but I mean, I would put some sort of condiment on that because it's going to be quite gamey. It is. And then mash it down. I would probably do toast. I would do toast because somehow toast is going to be able to absorb the intensity of the flavour. If you're not up to eating offal, you might need some sort of sponge-like to handle that. And there you go, Mr. Morrison in Scotland. That was a bit of a seriously macabre question, but there you go. And celebrate Shakespeare's birthday with a sandwich inspired by the witches. Bon appetit.